MetiSmile brings the final piece of the puzzle, which was missing for dental technicians and denturists, which is the frame of the face. Framing the mouth or framing the jaws is something that's always been missing for us as dental technicians or prosthetic makers, and it allows you to do essentially a virtual patient. With the MetiSmile, with the new jaw tracking or Edentulous vertical dimension or optimal vertical dimension algorithm, it allows the software to handle that, meaning that you're no longer relying on the average 18 and 22 measurements that we learned in prosthetic school, which are average, but as we all know, patients are not average. You know, the average denture patient has been edentulous for a long time, and because of that, we can't treat them as such. So the MetiSmile brings a piece of a puzzle and also a piece of equipment that was not available until this time. And it allowed us to use diagnostic tools, not only just to capture the face, but to capture real data that was applicable to and is applicable to denture making. Not just denture making and removables, but also applying that into a fixed network. A denture is essentially the framework for a fixed prosthetic or a fixed bridge or an all-in-4, as you would call it. And using that kind of technology as the foundation to implant work allows you to continue the workflow into higher end treatments like all-in-4, all-in-X, zirconia, that sort of thing. Today, using the Aoralscan Wireless Elite, it actually freed up my hands to do other things, meaning that I wasn't really bound by distance and the inconvenience of a cord that I didn't really realize was an inconvenience, like moving around the patient, speaking with the patient. Also, the fact that the battery lasts a long time is really important to me. I've used other scanners on the market that don't have as equal to good battery life. On a busy practice day, we're seeing between 8 to 10 patients a day, Edentulous, and Edentulous scans are quite large, big amounts of data, and the battery can keep up, and so can the optics. Also, the large frame or the large tip has a big frame of capture. It really allows you to scan edentulous tissue or free and partial edentulous for framework design quite well, quite easily, without lagging, without skipping, and also stitches really well. So that's really important to me as a clinician, because the more time I save not editing files and plowing through the workflow efficiently and effectively really does save me time and allows me to work more efficiently. Because the more time I'm playing with the computer, the more time I'm not spending with my patient. And that's kind of really the nature of what we need to do, is spend more time with our patients and be more efficient. Where the MetiSmile excels is that you can not only use it for an edentulous patient, which is my specialty. In our practice here today, we're also, my dentist is a general practice dentist that does restorative and cosmetic dentistry. He can use it to determine vertical dimension for full mouth reconstruction as mock-ups for crown and bridge, or workups for implant cases, or workups for aesthetic, cosmetic, anterior cases, which do rely on vertical dimension, and also the jaw trajectory or function of the patient's existing dentition is really important to obtain, because we know that a patient is non-articulated, but in the laboratory, when you don't have this kind of data, we rely on analog techniques like the articulator, which again puts the patient in a box. And every patient is unique, so therefore you need to produce the data which the patient has for the technician to produce the real patient articulator, which is the patient, not the articulator. And that's kind of really important for dentate patients. So it's not just useful for a denturist like me, but it's also useful for my general practice dentist, my primary in this practice, and it's also useful for our referral network for our surgeons who are placing implants, because it also has the ability to merge CBCT. So that allows for extreme amount of data, but also extreme amount of case planning data that we can communicate as a team, both as a denturist, a referring surgeon placing implants, but also as a GP who's eventually going to do the restorative crown and bridge or fixed prosthetics. I think Shining 3D is an innovative company, not only in the sense that it understands dentistry as a technology, but Shining 3D also understands us as clinicians, and clinicians are all different. For me, I'm a prosthetic maker. I make dentures, and that's my specific thing. So there's no reason why you can't get into digital dentistry now. So you get the product that suits the way you work as a clinician. So Shining 3D really understands that, and I think the future means that Shining 3D will collaborate more with dentistry, allowing for faster, more efficient workflows with our patients, but also allow us to see more patients, ultimately treat more patients and make more smiles. That's really the ultimate goal.